G'day guys, welcome to the next episode of The Crasher. This episode I'm excited about. I hope that you guys really enjoy it. I'm honoured enough to be invited to, the Snakecharmer. I'm not a big fan of snakes, but I gotta tell you, I like this guy. I've watched a lot of his stuff on YouTube, and that's why I reached out to him. He's an inspiration. His real name by birth is George Farah, but everybody knows him, especially the people that are in the industry that he is in. He's known as the Snakecharmer. So, George, the Snakecharmer Farah, thank you for inviting us to your place. Mate, you've had a colourful life, let's say it that way. You've taken a lot of adversity, a lot of probably disadvantaged positions that you were in, and you've risen to the top here in Australia in different types of fields, both in your personal business and also in your personal goals and helping
the youth.
The lost youth. So can we talk about that? How it started, what your background is? I know that you're a little Lebo kid that grew up in Bathurst. I don't know how the hell you got in Bathurst, bro, but anyway.
That's what everyone says. Well, we grew up in Bathurst as little Lebanese kids. It was very racial there back in the 80s, more probably 70s we're talking about. And we were the only European family out there. Us and a couple of other ones, which it was the Tubiers. We all grew up together, and that's how it all began. Basically, fighting all the time and taking weapons to school and protecting ourselves from, as you know, you got to look after yourself. Then I took up boxing, then I took up martial arts, and then just defended myself and defended my family, my brothers and my sister every time we went to school. Mm-hmm. And my parents never knew that that's what it's about. So every time we get in a fight, that I'd get the cane. I'd get the cane every day, I would get expelled. And back then in the day, I wasn't really a troubled kid because I never went out and caused trouble. I always just defended myself and knew what was right? But after that, then me and my other younger brother went for a wander in the bush. And as you know, kids explore things. We found a marijuana plant. Mm-hmm. But we didn't know what it was at first. But as you know, when you see drug busts on the news, you always see what it looks like. They look like tomato plants, but there's no tomatoes on them. So then, me and my brother just decided then to,
So tomatoes now cost more than the marijuana does.
Yeah, that's true.
Thanks to the Australian government.
But yeah, so me and my younger brother, I started pulling them off, taking them to school. Not drying up, but we didn't know what we were doing because we actually pulled the leaves off. When we weren't doing the leaves, we should have been taking the heads, which I would know now what the heads are. So bag them up and put a big bag like that, and that was like $20. Back then, $20 was a freaking lot of money. A lot of money. We were buying shoes and, clothes and that. Not that we needed the money, we just wanted to be high rollers. Yeah. And have fun, Then we ended up getting busted. We ended up getting raided at the time. Then my mum had to come with me to court. Then I got charged, which is still on my record until today. So then I got expelled from that school, went to another school, got expelled again there for fighting again. It was just a rough growing up there from there on, right? Then my dad, after I finished school, the cops kicked me out of there. I literally got escorted out of Bathurst itself and told not to come back here again.
Well, did you go down the mountain or did you go up the mountain? Which way did they expel you from Bathurst?
Out of Bathurst completely. Yeah. So literally they told me to leave, otherwise they'll throw the book at me. And it was funny because it was just like a movie where there was Philip Dwayhe there. He was a good friend of ours, he's a family friend. And he hugged me goodbye and he said, see you later. And we still laugh about it till today. I remember when I got kicked out of Bathurst? And he goes, yes, I remember. I literally got kicked out of there. After I got kicked out of there, then Dad said, look, you're going to have to go live with your auntie, which I lived in Auburn with my auntie for about a year. And then I was an apprentice panel beater at the time, and I started working with Steve Smash.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, after I was working with him, I went to Granville TAFE. From Granville TAFE, then I moved to Mount Druitt. Then I started building cars and doing up cars, the old HQs, the Toranas. I've got hundreds of photos of those old cars. I wish I still owned them now. They're worth millions.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't have not one of them.
I mean, my father gave me his old HQ, straight six.
Yeah.
Worked because he bought it off my cousin. And I remember when it had so much rust that I couldn't get rego for it. I went and parked it at the back of my mate's mechanic shop and left it there. He goes, just leave it here, somebody will come get it. Until this day, I drive past that mechanic shop hoping that Kingswood will be there so I can bring it back home again. It's just, we used to throw those cars away like that, and now they say like a HQ 77 is worth $55,000. We'll buy them, you know, $300. But anyway, that's.
And then after that, I moved to Mount Druitt, and then met Anthony. Was, well, God bless his soul, he died now. He hung himself in prison. It's almost probably, I couldn't even tell you, more than 25 years ago now. He was only 18 at the time. He'd be the same age as me now. He was caught for, I think, car theft and then car racketeering. And that's how I got involved in that shit too. But, you know, as you know, you grow up on that shit and then, you know, one thing led to another. You know, dealing drugs then. After that, bit more. And then the 1% Club found me at the time.
Yeah, okay.
And there were two members that knew me from back in the day when I lived in Bathurst, because they used to come and visit me. And then I joined the club, and then it all was from there. But I was running amok before I joined the club.
Mm-hmm.
I never got done. What I did in my personal stuff for drugs and whatever I got caught with had nothing to do with the club, basically. Because you know when someone gets caught in the club and they straight away blame, oh, the club's this, the club's that. It's basically everyone is on their own risk doing their own shit, you know what I mean? The club's not telling you to go sell drugs. Yeah. They're not telling you to go do a hit. They're not telling you to go do whatever. Basically, I done all that on my own terms, so it had nothing to do with the club. But they were there for me to help me, you know, to get through jail time. And I had brothers from Denmark, Germany, Russia, all over the world send me Christmas cards every year when I was in there. I've actually still got them, got the cards.
So you didn't need a psychiatrist. You had to deal with being in jail. You had. It's funny, and I don't mean to say it in a funny way, but the people that are portrayed as the underbelly, the unwanted of society, were actually the ones that sort of got you through the loneliness of and the fear of prison. And is that true? Are they the ones that supported you? The one that society doesn't want to support?
Society doesn't want to support anyone that comes out of prison, basically. That's just straight up. And when you come out of prison, you'll never get a job. It's very hard to get a job. I couldn't get a job. I couldn't be employed. No one wanted anything to do with me. And then it's people that you know outside that they call criminals. Mm-hmm. They're the ones that help me get back on my feet.
All right. With that said, I know there's a million guys out there that say, I made my mistakes and I saw the light. But what attracted me to you, and I've been watching a lot of your YouTube stuff and your stories, is you just didn't say, I'm going to fix my life and, you know, ride a different road.
I want to fix more others.
I want to fix other people's lives. I want to try and help the youth before they get to where I got to.
Yeah.
Why? Why not? Why not say just me? Why did you say, no, it's for me to fix myself, I've got to help other people not make the mistakes that I made?
I strongly believe that God is big, and He's got me through so many deaths. He's got me through things that I couldn't even say on here. You know what I mean? Like I've been stabbed. There's footages on you know, anything that I'm saying now. I can speak about because it's on YouTube or
it's recorded.
It's all recorded. It's all up there. But there's things I can't say, which I'll take to my grave, basically. But you know, there's stuff that I don't want the young generation. As you know now, the generation now is killing each other, right, over area codes.
Yeah.
This fucking area code shit is just not. I don't understand that, right? If it was over drugs or money, the way now, I just don't want that generation to be. We're gonna have no generation.
Mm-hmm.
How many kids have died now in the youth? How many have died in the last couple of months?
Don't know. Tell me.
We don't even know. The thing is too, especially on social media, you got all these other people, you know, screaming and shouting and fighting over social media. So the kids don't know any better.
Yeah.
So they're not the real role models. That's why I want to be a role model for what I do, where I can learn and teach them about respect and teach them. You know I did bad. I don't regret what I did, but you know, how can I explain it? It's like.
What you did is what you did.
That's
what
right.
you're going to do.
Yeah, but the only reason I want to help the youth is because I don't want any more kids to die and go on the wrong road like I did. Basically, that's what I don't want. You know, I don't have kids to do that, but I've still got nephews and I still got relos and cousins.
How much time, and I don't know if you want to answer this because personal, how much time and how much money does your selflessness cost you?
I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even think.
It's this business here that supports you to support the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't get government funding, which I don't care about that. I'm just really it all comes out of my own pocket, my own time. Basically and I have, you know what's good about it? There's so many parents have reached out to me and I've set an impact to their kids, and that's what I love. That's more than money.
Yeah.
You know, I had a mother ring me up and told me, her 17-year-old kid, he's changed. He watches your bikes and watches, you know, where you've been in life and what you've done. He's changed his whole life. And what I love about it is that she's told, when they ring you and tell you, it's like they almost start crying because it comes from the heart. This is not fakeness. This is not about, you know, talking it out of school or trying a big note, anything. It's basically, I just do it because it's just, I want to do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to do it because I've lived that life from being a young kid, from selling drugs, from fighting, from being violent and all that, you know what I mean? And then being in a 1% club as well. So I'm setting an example to anyone's kids, doesn't matter what race, what religion, doesn't matter if they're Christian, Muslims, Chinese, Asian, Islanders, no matter what, I will look at every race. I'm trying to help them. That's basically what it is. Especially our own race, our Lebanese race as well, because at the end of the day, like as soon as they know that you're Lebanese,
yeah,
you're on a different platform. They put you straight on a different platform.
What platform's that? Go on, be honest.
Well,
Call it for what it is.
Well, they just say you're a drug dealer, a murderer, and etc.
Have you, like, I don't know, your opinion about that could be different to my opinion, but I feel as though that, you know, there are some people in society, especially in the media, that believe that ethnics don't have the knowledge or the brain power to be successful individuals. Yet you look at Australia, it's all ethnics.
Exactly. That's right.
I don't, but
it's true.
Why do you think that is? Because I'm asking you this question because we're going to lead down another question, and I want you to clarify things. Why do you think the media here in Australia tries to make us look like
criminals? It's hard to say. I mean,
I'm good when it comes to those questions. You know, I've put Tony Mundine in the corner with my questions.
Well, how can I say it? Look, at the end of the day, I couldn't even answer that, to be honest. I couldn't even answer it. But
all right, try to answer it this way. I'll let you go. I'll let you step out of the corner now.
All right.
We've spent an hour or so admiring your work in manufacturing, and you're the owner and founder of Venom Trailers.
Yeah.
You have a passion in building choppers.
Yeah.
Venom choppers. That's what.
Well, Venom Trailers is for the trailer company.
Yep.
Snakecharmer choppers is for the bikes.
Snakecharmer, yeah.
Snakecharmer choppers is the actual main label.
Yeah.
And the only reason I started the trailer company is because I couldn't transport my bike anywhere to shows. At the time, I couldn't find it, and that's why I've taken over the market. If everyone knows us as building trailers that can transport the customers.
I don't want to name any names, okay? But everybody knows that has Optus or some cable TVs knows that these American chopper builders.
Everyone knows who they are.
Yeah, everyone knows. But
So what do you think? SEC in the States, will it take off?
Definitely, most definitely. To infinity and beyond.
Is that right?
That's right.
Charmer,
Yes.
when are we heading to the States?
OCC, I'm coming to eat you like a fucking orange.
2012.
I want to concentrate on Snakecharmer choppers. Some of your bikes that I've seen, we've got a few magazines. You're in one, from what I can see right now. These are the ones that you've showed us so far, but there's many more. There's 6 of them right here. And these are world-renowned magazines, and your choppers are on the cover. And you've got one inside over there.
That's the blade.
The blade, that was actually used to promote somebody else's business. How do you feel it? Why? Why isn't a hardcore, top-notch, probably one of the best bike builders, but Australian, not getting the attention that he deserves? And basically like the Americans are, or the British. Why? Why aren't we
Recognised?
Exactly.
Well, that's what's got me stuffed. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone recognises overseas. Unfortunately, here in Australia, no one backs Australian. Doesn't matter how successful you are. My profile, which if anyone sees it now, if you look it up now, it's one of the biggest profiles in Australia in working with the biggest labels in the world, from Xbox, Grand Theft Auto, Microsoft, Ed Hardy, the clothing brand, New Era, the snapback caps, Lincoln Electrics.
I'm gonna show you this.
Now, come on, man, that's just some of it. So basically,
one of the biggest companies in the world,
the welding company,
in manufacturing welding equipment, rang George and said to him, "We want to do a deal with you," and they came up with this, Lincoln, not some backyard
or Chinese brand,
It's American brand. I was shocked when George showed me this.
So I'm endorsed
Why?
by the biggest label in the world, and that's what makes me laugh. That Australia here.
What are these called? Snapback helmets?
No, this is snapback. This is the welding. This is the welding mask.
Yeah.
And it's got my design on it, and that's where I'm
The Venom design.
endorsed by them.
Yeah.
It's got its own box, everything. So where is it? Oh. Yeah, there it is there. See?
Mm-hmm.
So Powercraft has made that design. Okay, that's just one. And then we had, everyone knows who New Era is. New Era is one of the biggest hat companies in the world, which every celebrity, every rapper in the world wears, right? Now, when they made that hat, which as you know what that is, that's a MIN number.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually my real prison number. When they done it, they made sure that, I wasn't in for murder or rape or, any child pornography or any of that sort of stuff, because they don't want to go and promote me. Basically, I told them what I was done for, and then they made those hats. That is a big call. That's where the big celebrities, the big rappers, the biggest artists in the world, and this is what makes me laugh, that we're that big here in Australia and we're still not even recognised.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad.
Oh, well, I've seen the bike outside.
That's sad.
I also want to mention, George, you built a indigenous bike.
Yes, that's another thing that I'm ashamed of. Not ashamed, sorry. Oh, I'm ashamed about Australia itself, because they didn't recognise it. Basically, the bike was built. I built the Dreamtime chopper to represent my life and my dreams and the journey and the generation that everyone had here in Australia.
I'm from country Radbury Lane. That's the most magic fucking thing I've seen, bro. I'm telling you, I haven't seen nothing come close to that. What do you think about this compared to Orange County's one? That shit's all over Orange County. That's off the hook, bro. That's fine. They put it in a museum, bro. She mad.
She dead with this guy, man. Fucking. I don't know. I've been watching documentary channel there with the fucking monster bikes and OCC, bro. But this can't here, bro. I'll blow it out of the water, I reckon. She got him covered easy.
Basically, when I built it, I built the boomerang as the handlebars. The handlebars represents a journey, which is a road which we all go along, right?
Yeah.
The headlight, which is it's an emu egg, which I built it to represent all colours of light. Like basically, it's the light, and every generation that's in it. I mean, every colour, every race, we're all different colours here.
Yeah.
So colours of light. Then I built the
Didgeridoo.
The didgeridoo plays the tunes and the enjoyments of life all together. The little girl's hand, we put that on there to represent the young girls or kids, our next generation's future, to build their dreams. So this has got more of a meaning to it than just a chopper, which is what didn't really upset me, and they didn't really look at it. The spears,
they didn't give it the respect.
No, they didn't respect. No.
Yeah.
The spears, the front forks, that represents us as warriors and fighting for our dreams, basically. And then there should be another one where the plaque, and then the key, which you should have it here, there. From prison dreams to reality, it's a key to freedom. What it is, I made it so you get on the bike and you ride as for freedom.
Yeah.
So it's a key to freedom from prison, and that's what that represents basically. So every part of that bike that I built represents my life and everyone's journey in here in Australia. So it was built with passion and love, man. It wasn't just built as it is, and that's the same as the blade. The blade represents me being in prison as well.
Where's this bike now?
Well, it was in the museum at the Three Sisters, and now it's just sitting in the shed just collecting dust. And we tried to get it in other places. We spoke to a lot of elder people as well, just to take it to schools as well. I took it to a few schools. I took it to a lot of schools to teach the culture and what we are. I know I'm not Aboriginal, that's what they said, but at the end of the day, I grew up in Bathurst, and I'm probably more Aboriginal than probably half.
Who told you we're not Aboriginal? Who said that you're not?
They were from, I'm not going to name them, but they were from the high end of the it's like a committee. It's like it was a committee of the Indigenous committee, and they said, because you're too passionate about what you're doing, you're probably not for you. And then I lost my shit, and then that's when I got kicked out of it.
It's funny because I've been dealing a lot with the sovereign people due to things that I've been doing. And I asked a few of them a question: why didn't your ancestors attack these British blokes that just landed on your beach? And said, because in our culture, we are all people of this land. Whoever touches this land, whoever lands on this land, is now a sovereign person. So I find that strange. They said, that looks like they don't even know their own culture, but we'll leave it at that because...
But that's what I mean. That was built to represent our next generation, our future, and then when we built it to represent Australia itself. Yep. Now, as you know, the Americans, they built one for Russell Crowe, and then we put this up on the internet, put his one up on the internet, and looking at both of them, I made this look like timber. They glued the boomerangs on his one and stuff, and then between me and you, now I don't know if it was a spam or was it real, but I have real emails from Russell Crowe itself, right, where he asked me what was my problem with American County choppers. That's his message in the email, and I said, I've got no problem with them, and I actually rang them personally and asked them for a challenge. You know, you get boxers that want to challenge each other to see who's the best. Well, I know that I'm better than them, and I've wanted to challenge them for years. I spoke to Fox itself. Fox said to me, you can approach them and see what they say. We got no response. We sent them emails. We sent them everything. So, Orange County, I would love to challenge them. I know they got no chance, because at the end of the day, they got no chance against.
Let me answer that question for you, being a person of common sense. If you were no threat whatsoever, they would have accepted your challenge.
I know, that's why. I know that.
Was that so?
Because they'll lose their sponsors, they'll lose their positions, they'll lose their ratings, they'll lose their merchandising, and basically it's too much money for them to lose. And especially someone, an underdog from here, Australia, where I haven't been recognised. It's sad because Australia needs to look in their backyard. I say it all the time. They need to look in their backyard.
I'm a firm believer that I know that Australia should be.
America is who found Snakecharmer originally, but that's who when they built me when I was in this front cover magazine. It went overseas. Jagged Edge, which is a photo which I don't even know where it is. Jagged Edge is actually holding my photo, and they took that magazine overseas. Yeah. So I've got celebrities, which makes me laugh. I've got celebrities that actually come here and get blown away with my bikes. I'm not saying I'm bragging about it, but if celebrities from overseas come here and love this shit, and we got Australians here in our backyard thinking that we're nothing.
I'm about to do I'm about to do my first tattoo. I'm about to actually do the tattoo. Yeah, bam, bam. Watch. I'm a tattoo artist now, baby. You know what it is.
And dip it in. Dip it in.
What are you doing, crazy?
Yeah.
Man, just did my first tattoo, bro.
And what do you put on there?
I put SCC, means Snake Charmer Choppers, Crazy Bone. So if you want to get tattooed, come to Crazy Tattoo. We're the first nigga getting tattooed on this here one-of-a-kind bike. Look how beautiful it is. Look how beautiful I am. We go together, don't we? I'm riding that bike tonight. I don't know if you think I ain't riding it, but for real, I'm a rider too. I'm gonna show him how you get down on the TL side, on the straight bikes. I'm about to ride that tonight. The Ed Hardy bike, it's stretched out a little bit too much, so I can't pick it up, but I'm gonna get some rubber on that.
Look, guys, I can tell you right now, you need to understand where George is coming from. George is a believer in Australia and how great this country is, and it's frustrating that we see it, but people that can get Australia to be where it has to be,
we want it on the map,
don't care. They want us to be second fiddle to every other nation, where we should be the ones actually playing the fiddle up front.
That's right. We in Australia, we have so much talent here, but even the Australian rappers, right, and the rapping industry, before in the 90s and that, when people were trying to get their rapping music out there, they couldn't get it out there. It's only starting to come out now, after what, 30 years, 40 years, they're starting to recognise Australian rappers. We are in Australia 40 years behind any other part of the world.
You think so?
Yep.
I'm saying more than that.
All right, I'm saying 40 because that's basically where it's at. Yeah. Even like the chopper world, right? It's riding the ass here because everyone's riding these V-rods. Even the industry for weddings, I started that shit when I was doing bikes before in the jail. I called a city classic bike hire. What makes me laugh too now, I don't understand how it works, because I had Harley hire when I was hiring my bikes, right? But then I see these people putting these jumpers on. It says Harley, and then it says Harley Escorts, Harley this, Harley that. I'm thinking, well, how come they're not getting drilled? I was in prison when Harley Davidson sent me a letter telling me they're gonna sue me. I literally told them to F off, because at the end of the day, I'm sitting in prison. What am I gonna do to me, man? I don't know how long I'm looking for. I'm looking from 8 years, 10, 15 years. I didn't give a shit. Then when I got out, I changed the name. I called it City Classic Bike Hire, and then I got locked back up again, and then it went down to shit. So then I came out, and then I seen all these people doing weddings and stuff, which then I said, no worries. I went to a different field, so I started building bikes, and this was my first one, and they called this the Bandito Blade, which this one, see, it's got the Bandito Blade.
Yeah.
It's called the Bandito Blade because when I was in the Banditos at the time, they called it the Blade because I was stabbed in prison. Yeah. And this represents my life and my journey from coming out of prison and still being I'm no longer. I'm a former. I'm retired now from the club. All on good terms. I've got no problems. So that's good. I still show my respects. They show my respects to them, and that's the way it'll always be until I die.
Is this bike here?
Yes, this bike is sitting in my showroom upstairs, and yeah. So. You know this magazine, I lost my magazine, right? And I got my girlfriend TJ to go find me this magazine. I paid $150 to get this magazine back. I paid $100 because there's no more magazines.
Yeah.
That's when I won awards.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll cover those titties. But yeah, basically that's it. And that made that on the front cover. And then we built this one, which was Ed Hardy, the clothing brand that was here. They wanted me to build the Ed Hardy bike for them. They were going to get American bike builders. They chose us over the biggest bike builders in the world.
Wow.
There you go. That's the jeans, the shoe, the thong, and then you've got the watch, there's the air filter. So all these designs is exactly the same as their clothing brand, because you know you said before about how the other guys were making their brand out of the bikey brand. Well, that's what Christian Audige and Ed Hardy did. They were starting to move clothing to the bikey world, and that's where everyone was wearing Ed Hardy and the bling bling. You know what I mean? So basically, that's what that represented. And
mate, you are an artist. I'll tell you that, mate. Not just a fabricator. That's
the belt. That's one of the original belts.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you know what I mean. Like, I'm like I like to be like an what do they call it, entrepreneur. Like basically, I'll do anything to do with structure. Like I built that as a feature. That was from Prison Dreams to Reality. So I built that in here. I made that in 2 days.
This room in here, what is it?
This is going to be my podcast room called From Prison Dreams to Reality. This will be telling my story from here, and hopefully you'll be joining me again from here. And we need to make this happen. Unfortunately, we need Australia. We need people in Australia to look in their backyard and the talent that we have. Even at this one here, we grind it. We grind it hard.
Yeah.
They featured me in the magazine there as well. There's George Farah. So basically, these are just some of the magazines. I think I've been featured in like 60 something magazines all around the world. I've worked for the biggest labels in the world. You know, you can just look it up. So basically, I'm not bragging or talking about it. I'm just saying that we need to look in our backyard. You know, I started this whole Prison Dreams to Reality in 2004. In 2004, I started this whole concept, and now I see it everywhere. You see all these people talking about prison and trying to get clout, this and that, but they've done nothing with their lives. They've done nothing with their lives. Who have they helped? And yeah, that's right. Who have they helped? I can say, well, I've helped. I've raised cancer. I've helped people for cancer. I've helped the youth. I've worked with Father Riley's kids as well.
In Dulwich Hill?
Yeah, I've gone to the schools. You know what I mean? This is all out of my own time and my own money. So all these people out there, you know, talking about, you know, I've done prison and trying to tell the kids, you know, don't go there. Mate, they haven't experienced life like I have to go and even explain it to them. But I'm not out there to brag about it. I'm sending a different message to the kids, man.
I don't want you to name the kid, but can you tell us about the kid that you brought here to show him?
He's only 15. He's 15. He came here, a friend of mine came here and goes, he's got a 15-year-old kid's out of control. He came here a couple of times, and his auntie told me that I think he's carrying a blade. I've taken the blades off him twice, okay? I've sat him in this room, which this is just the dummy, it's a dummy cell. Yeah. It's still not done yet, but as you see, there's a toilet, a bench, and that there. The prison doors there. And I said to him, sit down there for 15 minutes. I'm gonna close the door. This is actually luxury because you don't have this shit in here. Yeah. And just shut the door, give me your phone, and sit there for 15 minutes and you tell me, do you want to be in this prison cell for the rest of your life? Do you want to stay here? He sat in there for about half an hour to 40 minutes and he goes, no way, I'll never be in here. So this is not just for therapy, but basically this just shows you what real reality is, because people are talking about it. So many people glorifying prison, and prison ain't what it is, man. I could tell you some stories in there where people have starved to death and stuff like that, but you know, eventually in the future, we can always talk about that. When I was in Segro, and that's when I was in Segro, people say orange is when you go to Segro, when you're a high risk, you're classed as a gang member or as a high risk, or a drug dealer, someone that's big, you know what I mean? That's why they put you in orange, to be recognised in high risk.
George, would you like to mention some names of people that have helped you to raise money to help the youth? Because in some of your videos I see a lot of your boys on your bikes.
Oh yeah, well basically who helps me is because what I did was I joined the Copperheads. Well, I wasn't the founder, Mark was the founder of Copperheads SMC. Copperheads SMC, we do a lot of fundraising, we feed a lot of the homeless, which they feed a lot of homeless every Wednesdays towards Queensland Central Coast, sorry.
Yep.
We're not a 1% club, we're not here to act like bikers, we're here as one big family, and basically the patches represent who's who, you know what I mean? And who's got respect and who's got loyalty amongst each other, basically, which we all have, but it just shows you who's who. But Copperheads SMC, I am bringing them on the road and the journey where I'm going in life to do good, and they help me on you know, raising money with cancer, for people that's got cancer. Like we held one for Donna, we raised them a fair bit of money. You know, she's passed now, God let her rest in soul.
God rest her soul.
Yeah, man, it's sad. It's just like, it was bad because her 5 kids have come up to me and kissed me and said to me, thank you for what you did for my mother. Man, it ripped my heart out, eh? Fucking ripped me, man. Fucking killed me.
You know, for a bloke that comes across as hard, you're very soft, aren't you? Huh?
The older you get, the softer you get, bro.
Yeah. Well, you know. There you go. You're seeing a side of George, the Snakecharmer, that not a lot of people get to see. That's what's called being genuine. That's why people like George do what they do. Right? It isn't about the money, because trust me, his business here gives him a very nice lifestyle. This is about giving something more than money.
Just want to give back to the community.
Yeah.
For what I've taken.
That's a look. I'm sitting here, okay, and I don't believe in crystals and energy and aura. I believe in God, and that's what I am, right? So when I hear, but you're giving off a lot of positive energy, right? I can feel how determined you are. I can feel there's a lot of positivity coming out of you, George, and I find that incredible, considering like where do you get that energy from? What drives you?
Him upstairs.
Yeah. Well, you heard it, guys. Do you want to
I just believe that God always used to say in some of the sayings that the more you give out, He will give you back, and give you back 10 times more. And that's why I've got what I've got.
Well,
you know, like I don't expect everyone to be talented or whatever. Basically, is all they have to do is, all right, they don't have talent. I didn't know I had this talent. I had no idea I had this talent. I didn't know I could do this. I didn't know I could build bikes or design. It found me, and that's basically everyone out there has a talent of something and they haven't found it yet. That's all it is.
I was just going to ask you to talk about, like, give some advice to the youth. I think you've already done it, but can you go a little bit deeper? Can you give us some, like, phenomenal advice? Something that make this kid really stand up and say, George Farah said this is what I'm going to do.
My advice is that, I mean, a lot of people are not going to take the advice too, but because they have to learn from experience. Do you know what I mean? But I mean, I never listened to my parents. But you know what? We never had role models. If you think about it, back in our day, your day, anyone's day, we never had a role model. The role model I had was, you know who it was? Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
He was my idol. That's why I started fighting. That's why I started using nunchuckers, butterfly knives. He is the one who inspired me to do martial arts, basically. So the way I look at it, that I'm going to show the young generation, I'm here to inspire them to go into their dreams. And if they come out of prison or a boys' home, they can become this. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the way I look at it. I just want to be the model for these kids. Sometimes I swear, which everyone swears. I mean, it's nothing these days. Basically, people go, you don't swear. Man, the parents are swearing to the kids at the end of the day. The kids are swearing to the parents, you know. So people go, oh, you're not a very good role model. I don't really care. What have you done before you come and tell me I'm not a role model? That's what I don't understand. People always come and tell me, how can you be a role model? Why do you want to be a role model? Man, I've come close to death. I've got scars, which I can't even show you from here to here. I've got one, which you can't really see it, but it's from there, slashed all the way up here. That was with a machete. So basically, these were gang wars we've been in, but I'm lucky to be alive today. Even when I got stabbed in prison, when I got jumped in prison, this one was out here. So I strongly believe in God. He's kept me alive for a reason, and I don't care what anyone says. And people say, oh, he's here to preach. I'm not here to preach. I don't say go and pick up the Bible and read it or go to church. Mate, I don't even go to church, but I still believe in God that strong, and I still do good, because the way I see it, you see a lot of churches, they don't do what I do. They don't go and feed the homeless. I hardly see anyone doing that. I never see that anywhere. You know what I mean? Basically, I'm out there doing it. So I don't have to sit there and preach to you and tell you that I read the Bible. I'm doing what the Bible's telling me to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the way I see it. So I'm not going to sit here and sit and try and preach to kids, because if you preach to a kid, he's going to tell you where to go. He's going to say, mate, who are you to tell me? You haven't been there. You haven't been to prison. You haven't been in 1% club. You haven't been stabbed. You know what I mean? You haven't sold drugs. So the young generation, look at me, I've done all that. They got more of a chance listening to me, which they have, than listening to you or a priest or their parents or anyone. True?
So you want to use your negative experience and all the bad stuff that you've been through
back into positive.
Exactly. Putting it.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Making sure the kids see it for what it is. There is no glamour.
That's right. Because I had money. We were turning over friggin' so much money. Man, one of the strip joints, we spent 15k just in a strip joint. And pissed it up the walls. Right? That's 15k. That's why I always see these people, they got these wads of money, putting it up on social media and the gold and this and that. Man, I had all that. I've still got Rolex watches and stuff that I don't even wear. I got gold chains, thick as friggin' 20, 30,000 chains and bracelets I don't even wear. I don't wear none of that.
It's not you anymore.
That's right. I had all the bling bling. I had every car you can think of, from Mercs to Jaguars to every prestige car you can think of sitting in my driveway. Oh, which one should I drive today? But I was never happy. That's what they're not understanding. And that's why when I see all these people wadding all this money and all this gold and all this fake Versace shit, and I think to myself, bro, it's all an image. You're putting out an image that it's not even you. That is not really you. It's not.
It's what they want to be seen as, but it's
because
not
it's the same as us. We wanted the image. We wanted the cars, the fast cars and all that. But when you go to jail and you lose everything, the legals are the biggest robbers. The legals will take all your money, right? That's one. The government's going to seize everything. I came out, Romeo, with friggin' $97 I came out of jail with. $97 I came out with.
How'd you come out with $97?
Because that's all I had. That's what they gave me.
That's it.
That's what they give you. Okay? Not that I cared. I had nothing. At least I had my family, which I lived with my mum and that at the time. I still do. Because the way I see that cell there, whoever that cell there, no matter how much money you got, you can have all this money in the world. But when you're sitting in that cell, what are you going to spend it on? Your buy-up that's got $60 a week. On your buy-up, $60. So when you're sitting in there, locked in there, I don't know how many hours a day it is, 18, 19, 20, whatever it is, especially lockdowns, they can leave you in there for 2-3 weeks. They can leave you in there.
Wow.
Yeah, and then when they give you your food, they kick your food in with your feet like you're an animal. So you might think you're a high roller and a big man out here before you go train and think you're a mag cunt, but when you're sitting in that fucking cell, you're just a min number. That's all you are. You're just a min number. You're called out by your min number.
So basically, this is a determination to make sure you don't supply the jails with a min number anymore. future min numbers. Is that what you're determined to do?
Yeah, well.
I mean, you can't save everyone, George.
You know what? I'm not here to save everyone. I'm not here to be God. I'm not here to do whatever. I'm only setting my life experience for where it's been. Like all these people talking about gangsters and this and that. But I live that life. And I have a witness. Like, God strike me dead today from when I speak at my podcast and when it comes out. Everything we speak about is real, and there's stuff that we can't speak about. But I'll tell you now, it's real reality. It's the way we lived. So all these people now going around pretending they're gangsters and being high rollers, to me, they're talking it up. There's more people talking rubbish out there, but there's nothing structurally showing me who you really are. This world is fake.
Do you think they're doing damage to the youth?
Yeah, they are.
And that's what pisses you off. Because you don't really care that what they do, but it's the image that they're portraying to these next generation of kids who fall in love with this
image. That's right. They're watching too many movies, man.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be Al Capone or Scarface. I mean, we went through it, George. I mean,
don't get me wrong, I did. But we all went through it. Like, people are saying to me, oh, you lived through it. Yeah, I did. But I lived it from even when I was a young kid. At the age of 16, we found a crop, we sold it, we thought then, and then we've grown up to that now, and we're still trying to move it. Yeah. Now, I just wanted a better life too for my brothers as well. You know what I mean? Like, my dad was working, my mum was working and everything, but I thought, this would be an easy life. And that's why I took that road to think, well, fuck, if I sell this and I'll make this much money, I'll make an easier road. But really, it really killed my family. It didn't make it easy for them, it killed them. A lot of guys say, oh, I want to do this for my family, so I might as well sell some drugs and that. But really, you're not, man. You're really killing your family. Your mother, you're killing her by visiting you every day, worrying sick about you every day. All right? And then when you get transferred to another jail, wherever you got to go, then your family's got to follow you there. They're getting strip search every day when they come in. They don't need that, man. They don't need that. They don't need that at all. So you're killing your family. So really, no matter if you made millions or billions, it's not worth killing your family for.
Family is what's important.
That is more important than anything in this world.
I want to ask you a question. Do you think that if you didn't go let me rephrase this. Do you think you're in this position now because what you've been through, or do you think that where you are now is not because of what you went through? You would have been here anyway.
Now, what I've gone through, I probably wouldn't be here today. I'd probably be still doing what I'm doing. That's the truth. But I've come close to death so many times, and it was a calling to say, you know what? Wake up, man.
How many times? Well, he's still counting.
Probably over 12 times, 13 times maybe.
Did you get coronavirus?
Yeah, I got corona. I've even had Bell's palsy. I was paralysed on one side of my face, but that's not from the shot. Everyone goes, "Is it from the shot?" But it wasn't. I copped Bell's palsy from the stress that I had when all this shit was going down. It paralysed one side of my face. I couldn't eat. I've got videos of it still. I couldn't blink. But that did not stop me from doing my business. I still was welding. I was welding with one eye. I swear, Romeo, I had one eye closed and I was welding with one eye.
I just chucked in the corona thing just for a laugh, because after being nearly killed 12 times, I was wondering, would you be scared of getting corona?
No. You know what? I'm not scared of anything now. I'm not scared to die. Really, I'm not scared to die. Yeah. And I'm not really scared of of the coronavirus. I'm not scared of anything, to be honest. I've been through it all where nothing really fears me anymore. I just think that if the God is ready to take me, he'll take me when he's ready.
George, how can we fix the kids?
Well, my future is to, what I'm trying to do is, if I do make a documentary or whatever I'm going to make, and that money that comes out of that or anything that I sell, and merchandising, I'm trying to get merchandising out there. I want to put the merchandising into a funding, and I want to open a centre where I can bring the troubled youth in and be their role models, where they can actually learn the world. Because Lincoln, they said to me that they're willing to supply me with welders as well. So they're willing to give me a few welders as well, and you know, all the safety gear.
Any Australian companies reached out to you?
No.
Okay.
Not, you know, I haven't seen anyone. No one here from Australia has really backed me up, man. If anything, I've been shut down by anyone that's here in Australia.
Yeah.
That's basically it. Not just the government, but everyone. So I'm on my own, you could say. The only people that are backing me up now. Don't get me wrong, my family, my friends, and my fan base, and the people that are following me and supporting me, there is a pretty big following, but it's still not enough. Unfortunately, it's not strong enough to get it where it's supposed to get to. You know, people are all following these people causing dramas and giving money to people for dramas, and it makes me funny. It makes me laugh because I see these people putting all this money into TikTok, right?
Yeah.
But I'll guarantee you. You ask them to go put $5 in a cancer fundraiser, I guarantee you they won't fucking put it in there.
Yeah.
True?
Yeah, absolutely. I know that.
It's true. And that's what makes me laugh. Everyone's on TikTok giving money. But you go and ask them to put some money into someone that needs hand, or go and give someone, a poor homeless guy or something that, see, they go, oh, he's homeless, don't worry about it. But that homeless man, he could have been a heart surgeon. He could have been an eye surgeon. He lost everything because his wife could have taken it off him. He could have been insured, something might have burnt. It could have been for any reason, right?
But he was once somebody that
That's
was loved.
right. That's what they don't know. You always underestimate that person. That person in the side of the street could have been he could have been a heart surgeon, saved someone's eye. You don't even know if he's even saved your eye, or you had a heart attack and he saved your heart, or your parents, or someone related to you. They don't know that. Unfortunately, everyone needs to fucking open their eyes. That's what shits me. It just makes me so frustrating that everyone just sees this wall. They're too lazy to climb up that wall and have a look what's behind it. Yeah. That wall's black, right? Behind that. Because I know, because I've climbed up there and had a look what the wall is black. But it's all they can see is, this is the image. They can see Snakecharmer wearing his gold and this and that. But all these gold chains, I don't wear them no more.
Yeah. How long is that?
That's when I got out of jail at the time. 2006 that one was.
Wow.
And Stephen still got the bandana bangle.
Okay. Fair enough.
So, you know, they need to go out and look behind that wall. But we need to help this young generation. We need to support this young generation. We need to, people go, don't worry about them. Let them learn their own way. Because they don't have role models. The only role models they got is what they see on social media, all this gold and money and this gangster rap. And what makes me laugh too, most of these gangster rappers are only young and singing, they're gats, they're this, they're that, they're that. I'll show you this. I'm going to show you something now. I was speaking to a friend of mine. He's an ex-copper. Well, he's a friend now.
Yeah.
But he was an ex-copper that when I came to Mount Druitt, he was the first guy to get out of the car. I used to go to him, what the fuck do you want now? I used to talk to him like nothing, yeah? And it's funny because he met me at a show. He grabbed me at a show and said, is that George Farah? He said to one of the girls, and the girls go, yeah. And he goes, can I speak to him? And I walked up to him and I said, what do you want? And he said to me, mate, okay, this is what he said to me. I said, do you remember? Where's the message here? It says, in your time in the police force, did you ever hear that, did you ever hear that I was ever had firearms Like, have I ever had firearms, and who tipped you off? He said, you can say that.
Yes, but only selling Uzi's pistols out of your boot.
Right? Then I said, what else did you hear? This is what he said.
Just a bit of old hammer for those girls of the highway.
The Great Western Highway. This is coming from an ex-police officer at the end of the day. He read it, I didn't make it up, I just got it out on my phone. So half of my story, well, what you're hearing is real. So basically, I'm not here making up bullshit. Basically, you know, but I've put my arms down. I'll never touch firearms again and never touch drugs again. And my life is more happier that I look at God in that sense now, that He is the strength of my life, basically keep me alive.
Amen to that.
Because basically, even when I was in prison, they said to me that they wanted to give me a shank, because the guys that wanted to get me inside, they said, there's a shank over there. I said, why should I go and get that shank, right? If I pick up that shank and I stab someone, I'm going to be doing 18 years, another 20 years. I ain't going to get out in 2-3 more years. Basically, that's all I had. But if I stab someone, I'd rather be dead. So the way I looked at it, I didn't touch it. I left it there. That's the same as if I want to pick up a gun or a knife, I will never pick up a gun or a knife again. I will never touch a knife or a gun again, or any weapon I would pick up ever again. Mate, I used to carry guns all the time. Everywhere. Knives. I had weapons everywhere. But now, I'm done, because like I said to you, it will send you back to death, or you're going to be doing life in prison. So to me, I put my guns down.
Well, you put your guns down, but you've really you're carrying a real torch of light and hope now. And I've got to thank you for it. I mean, I'm sitting here listening to, I'm finding it, you know, overwhelming because it's so real. So I hope the followers and the people watching the show can really appreciate what you're trying to say. It's very raw, very real, straight to the point. Some people might go, that's a little bit too strong, but that's what it is. That's what we need to do. We need to wake up and realize that our children are in real danger of losing their ways. Therefore, we're losing a generation. We need to be better role models. We need to sit and talk to the kids, like George said.
And the bullying is the biggest thing. That's what I was sorry to cut you off, because sometimes when I forget things. Bullying is the biggest thing, and there's so many kids dying and hanging themselves and committing suicide. They're kids. How would they even know how to commit suicide? 15 and 14 years old are committing suicide. I read a thing yesterday. I think he was 15. He hung himself on the side of the bed with his favourite jumper. 15, because he was bullied at school, because what the teachers have said, they've brushed under the carpet. My message goes out to all the teachers out there, or anyone that's in healthcare, or whatever you want to call it, or schools. Man, if there's bullying out there, do something about it, or take it seriously. And for the parents, if your kids get bullied, you should do something about it too, because don't brush it under the carpet, because that kid's going to then realise, well, Mum's not listening to me, Dad's not listening to me, the teacher's not listening to me, so what does he think?
A lot of people, when it comes to bullying, a lot of people reckon that, you know, I take a hard stand too much over the top, and I don't believe that doesn't matter what I do, it's not enough. And I'll tell you an example. An old mate of mine that we grew up in Marrickville together and went to school there, he's moved to Brisbane, and we were talking via Facebook or whatever. He said to me his daughter was getting bullied. I said, oh, by who? He said, some girl, because my daughter's the fastest runner in school or whatever. I said, what are you doing about it? He goes, what can I do about it? I said, where the fuck did you grow up? Sorry about the swearing. I go, where did you grow up? He goes, Marrickville.
We have to beep all that.
Yeah, I said, listen, go up to the dad of this girl and tell him, next time your daughter touches my daughter, I'm touching you. But you're going to bleed. Watch what happens. I go, what's wrong with you? Why are you just saying, oh, what am I going to do? We don't come from a generation that asks, what am I going to do? We do. Get off your ass and do it. He did it. And he did knock the dad out. But the girl left his daughter alone after that, because she realised, I touched this girl, this bloke's going to knock out my dad. So now she's more concerned about protecting her dad, making sure he doesn't get belted because she's picking on. And that was it. He goes, Romeo, it's all over.
Yes.
I said, good, mate. You did something about it.
I know it's a wrong way,
But-
but at the end of the day,
It worked.
It worked.
What's better? Finding his daughter
Exactly.
in the garage hanging?
Exactly. That's true. And this is what I mean. I'm trying to. I mean, I can only do so much, man. But we just need the people out there to start doing the right thing. Basically, I don't expect everyone to be angels because I'm not an angel. And basically, you know, I still swear and I still do whatever. You know what I mean?
You're real.
But you know, I'm not here to tell everyone, you know, pick up a Bible and start being angels and start being priests and whatever. Just do the right thing. That's all it is. A bit of respect, a bit of loyalty amongst each other. And basically, if someone needs help, man, just help them, man. That's all they need. That's all it is. It's not about giving money, you know, because not everyone's got money to hand out. But just a phone call to someone that's doing it tough or suicide or... Now, it's like everyone wants to be the lion. Everyone wants to eat. And the lion just wants to be the king of the jungle, right? And all these other little ones here are just going to get eaten. And everyone wants to be the jungle. Everyone wants to be the lion in the jungle. That's all it is. Like we got snakes, we got hyenas. The world is a jungle. You know what I said? I know this sounds funny. I don't know if you're going to think this is funny. I don't know if it's funny or real. Okay. You know what the smartest living creature, I don't know if you want to call it a creature or something that's on this earth and is smarter than fucking humans.
Definitely not a politician.
No,
What is it?
no. Ants. You know why? You know when the ant builds their little thing, they all work together. They all eat together. They don't kill each other. They bring food to the table so they all eat. See how they all build their they build their empire?
Yeah.
And same as the bees. The bees are the same. They are the smartest things on this planet right now.
But it's just human nature to destroy ourselves.
That's how it is, but that's what I mean. But I'm just saying that if an ant is smarter than a fucking human, come on, man. Fucking the ant's brain is that small. And it wants to help another ant. Us humans want to kill each other.
Because the ants know that their survival is based on the bloke next to me, to my right, and the ant onto my right and the ant on my left. We all want to be how can I say? Individualism is important, but for a society to grow, we must have community, respect, and love to help this community grow.
That's why, man.
And we don't have that, but it's people like you that have seen and been through so much bad things to turn around and say, you know what, I'm going to do something good. I'm going to try and make a difference. And if we got more people like you, George, I think we got a fighting chance at making...
Mate, we only need half a dozen of us.
Right?
Only half a dozen, man. If we can get half a dozen or a dozen, that's got a strong thing, we can make it happen. And not just that, I've got a lot of the guys that are high up, not high up, but in different clubs as well, are saying to me every day on social media, they message me, brother, you're doing a good job, keep doing what you're doing. So I've got guys out there that are 1%ers that are saying to me, it's good what you're doing. So what the social media is saying about bikers and what they're saying about 1%ers, they're this and that, whatever, mate, if they're backing me up by doing everything good, how are they bad?
Yeah.
I don't understand. How are they bad? There's bad in every race. There's bad in every bikie club. There's bad in every friggin' nationality. The politicians and all that, for instance. The priests and that, they don't bring that shit up. They're all the corrupt ones.
Absolutely.
They're all corrupt.
Look what they did to us in the last 2 years.
That's what I mean. They're all corrupt. Just because you see one bikie get busted for drugs or whatever it is, you make them, they're all the same. They paint them all the same brush.
Yeah, absolutely. Any final words? Any final message?
No, man, there's not much I can really, I just hope that...
We've covered a lot.
We've covered a bit, but that's not even a drop.
Yeah,
It's not even a drop. But basically, you know, we could sit here for another 10 hours and we can still talk about the same subject before we move forward. But my message really is there to everyone in Australia, really to back, not to back me, but to back anyone up that's successful and sending the right message out there. Just don't back the people that are sending the wrong message, because the people that are sending the wrong message, if you're backing them up, well, I don't even know what to say to that.
Well, there's nothing to say. If you back the wrong horse, you're going to lose.
Well, that's exactly right. But you know what? That's just all I can say, basically. I mean, I'm not saying to back me up. It's up to you. I'm not saying, yeah, come and back me up and do. I don't really care. I don't care if I get no backing. I'm still going to be doing what I'm doing.
That's who you are.
That's it. I don't need a backing.
Well, guys, you've met George the Snakecharmer Farah. Guy's got a big heart. He's made his mistakes. He's paid for them. He's now determined not to allow the youth to make the same mistakes that he made. He's determined to help them, and that is the message for today. Everyone must be determined to make sure that our youth are safe and are on the right track to be better humans, never to make a mistake. We all make mistakes, but the mistakes that they make will not get them to be a min number, as you put it, George.
Yes.
Let's try to be the pillars of support for the next generation. It doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter what his background is. Doesn't matter what he did in the past. If he wants to stand up and say, I'm here to help. I want to stop the supply of min numbers to our jails, because I've been there, I've seen it, and it's not where our children should be. These are the type of men and women that we should support, because it's their experience. And just like when you go to war, they put you with an experienced soldier that's been in that battle and been in that war way more than you have, and you're a green thumb, as they say it. That's why they put you with that soldier, so he can tell you what to expect. And George, the Snakecharmer Farah, he is the guy that's going to tell the kids and the next generation what they will expect to be treated, and what he will tell them where they're going to be, where they're going to end up. And this is the kind of man that we need, and men like these that will help us put our children on the right road and save the next generation from making very bad mistakes. God bless you all. God bless Australia. Thank you, George.